Hello everybody, Ben here and welcome back to another video. In this video I'm going to be reviewing the Graham Farish LMS 8F. The version I got was 372-160 LNER O6 class 3518 LNER black, and it has a Next 18 DCC decoder socket in the tender. And it also comes with a pre-fitted speaker, I believe. There is a leaflet about the sort of fitting the parts pack detailing and the sort of speaker, working on the speaker and all the DCC stuff and fitting the parts back and oiling and all that, and that's also about the Batman Collectors Club. You also obviously get the parts pack, as I mentioned earlier, and I think the main thing of note from that is, apart from obviously all the other parts, is the snowplow that it comes with. You can see it there. I don't know where they would, if all had the ability, in real life to have a snowplow or what, I don't know, but I quite like how it looks with it. To fit it to the model, there's two pegs obviously on the snowplows, you can see, and if you turn the model over, you can see in front of the front bogie there's two pegs there, and if you put it on the right way around, obviously you can then put it in. Obviously if you want to keep it on permanently, you can glue it in, but this does restrict the use of the front coupling. But I haven't found on my first radius curve that it caused any problems, and the couple, everything seems to be alright, and I think it looks quite nice with it, really, as you can see there. Starting on the smoke box, you got the lamp eye in, you got the front handrail, the smoke box start, and the smoke box door hinges. You can also see at the top you've got the chimney as well, and a lot of rivets around the smoke box. Also on the front you've got these sort of front slanty bits, I don't know what you want to call them, frames. Also got the lamp iron buffers, you can see the bogie and the vacuum pipe as well. You can also see there's a lot of rivets on the footplate here, and it's nicely curved up there as well. You can see you've got these supports and the big long handrails that go down the full length of the body on either side. You also can see there's a pipe on this one that below the handrail. You can also see the reverser and various other pipework down there as well, next to the firebox on this side. See that you've got various sort of support things and lubricators and all the other stuff, more rivets on the footplate, there's quite a lot of them. You can see there's more on this side as well. You can also see underneath the boiler, it does look a bit sort of flat here, just a plain piece of metal, but this is very close up, you barely notice it if you're looking at it in person, but I think it looks quite good, really. And you can also see a lot of the rivets on the footplate as well, and that footplate is metal, it's cast metal, and that's why this model has a weight of 70 grams. You can also see there's that random lump, those holes, I don't know what they're for. Got the top feed with its associated pipework. You also have the dome as well, and then you can see you've also got the firebox, which has sort of nicely moulded details. You can also see the safety valve, which I believe are metal, which is a nice touch. You can also see the whistle, but I believe that is not metal. On the cylinders you've got that sort of round thing and a lot of rivets, and they've also got details on each end, as well as the cylinder's raincoats on the bottom. The valve gear on all the wheels looks very nice, apart from that rather obvious screw, but it doesn't look too bad. On the top of the roof you can see a lot of rivets and the cab ventilator as well. On the cab side you've got the two windows, one's open, one isn't, because one has glazing. You can see a lot of rivets there and the pipe and step work below it. You can also see inside the cab, but you get a better view if you take off the tender body. You can see all the detail in there with a lot of pipework and the firebox, the regulator, and the only thing is I think the gauges maybe should have been painted, but I don't know. I don't actually know if I got any painted details or not, but it definitely looks a good cab with the sort of painted the floor and everything else there. You can see the tender without the body on there. There's a lot of spring and axle box detail there, with a lot, as well as the steps and frame cutouts and a lot of rivets. The axle boxes all look really good. You can see there's the you can see there's the wasp to scoop under there, back steps, more details. You can also see there's various handrails there at the front and back. You can also see at the back there's also all these details there with the back steps, the vacuum pipe, buffers, everything like that. There's a nice lot of rivets there. You can also see on the top of the tender, you've also got, I think those are vents and a filler cap. You can also see the coal load on the top of the tender as well, which is a Batman standard proper metal piece, which looks quite good, I think, though maybe a bit shiny. So the detail side of this is very good, and it has a very good weight. The paint finish is very good. You can see obviously it's a black, but it's a satin black, and it has a really good sort of, it just looks good when you see it in the light. It does look good. Obviously it's just plain black. For painted details there's a bit, but which is the rest, the red buffer beam and the numbers and the York shed code. You can also see a builder's plate there, the number 3518, and also you've got the painted whistle up there, which is very small, but you can see it. You can also see all the painted details inside the cab, all that paint work, the silver and the gold, and obviously the cream of the cab. You can also see the very nicely done LNER lettering, which is the same with sort of font as the 3518, which I think looks very good. And also got a couple of things at the bottom, one of which, back of the tender, one of which is the 4,000 gallons, I think, 4,000 gallons. I believe the motor's in the boiler. I tried to take it off. I know there's a screw at the front below the bogie, and there's also a screw below the cab. It does have our wheel pickup on the front, the standard Batman wiper ones, and it does have bearings as well, and the back wheels give it some traction tyres, so it has plenty of pulling power. The speakers in the tender, as I said earlier, you can see, well, I think there's a speaker, I'm sure I read that somewhere. There's also the DCC decoder socket as well, so that's easy to fit if you wanted to do DCC. This model, I would say, is very smooth, considering that obviously all wheels pick up. I think even the tender supplies power to the loco as well. The only wheels that don't pick up are the two front bogie wheels. It runs very well. It's very smooth over point work, I've found. It does have a long wheelbase, but it can still traverse my first radius curves. And I think it has quite a slow crawl. This is me trying to crawl it here. Sometimes it does go slow, sometimes it slowly. That's it, going slowly there. After it's running, it seems to be going very well. I don't think you see any cogging. I believe this is a cordless motor and doesn't have any flywheels, but it does seem to be going alright. I think it has a stall now. You can see it's going in. I don't think you'd really need any sort of slow speed like this, but it does run quite well, especially at the slightly lower speed, as you can see. And the valve gear looks quite good considering how long it is. Going backward and forwards, it works fine. It can go quite fast, I think that's about 50% speed. But it does go very fast at top speed, but I would say it's quite controllable. And at the lower speeds it's still fine and perfect for what this would be doing as a heavy freight loco. Hauling a train, and it's running quite well, I would say. You can see it here running just up and down the layout. That's over the point work. It has stalled there. Tap it and it will go off again. It stalled there again. Tender come off, but I think that's me. If I send it back again, going up and just down the straight, it runs fine. You can see it does work quite well, I'd say. I do quite like seeing it running. It does look very nice. We send it back again over the point work. This time it slows again, but I didn't have to tap it. And then going over this one, it runs fine. So it's a bit hit and miss, but I reckon if you have better track work than what mine is, it'll be alright, and it can still go over these quite small, tight radius pecker points, even though this is a very large loco. Obviously this is a heavy freight loco, so a train made up of, I think, 26 wagons, I think is good enough to test this. Obviously I don't have a lot of distance, but you can see it can pull it. Some wheel slipping, but it's going quite well. It's not bad. Obviously the 70 grams and traction tyres help with that. Thank you for watching this video by me. Please like and subscribe and leave a comment down below with some video ideas or feedback. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.